Go ahead. Yalla, bismillah. You can do your door
Okay.
approach.
All right.
Hi. Good
Hey,
morning.
man, you must be the king of the castle.
Yeah, I am.
Sounds good. I'll keep it short and sweet, man. My name is Baz. I'm actually out here with Vivint. Reason I'm coming by is a little bit different, but I'll just cut to the chase. Do you know Tim and Lisa a few homes down, or the Johnsons on the corner?
I know Tim. Yeah.
Okay, really nice guy. I was just chatting with the families, and one thing they mentioned is that it's a great neighborhood for the most part. Nothing too crazy happens around here, except that in the past 5 to 6 months, they've noticed a bit of change in the area, specifically more people getting their cars broken into. But what Tim really mentioned is that nighttime in the back alleys, he's noticed a little bit more foot traffic. Okay, again, it's nothing too major, it's just petty things. And so, with what we've been doing, do you use a cell phone, by the way, like a smartphone?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Everybody does nowadays. So, this is kind of what we're doing, hands them the doorbell camera. Have you seen this little guy here before?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the ring, right?
Something like that, but on steroids. Okay. And so, the way it kind of works, the reason why Tim really liked it is he can monitor what's going on around his home from anywhere around the world. But the reason why he really loved it is now his kids can actually see what's going on at the door if someone were to knock, so they're not answering the doors to strangers. So I would show them kind of like the panel at this point on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
The other we really have been working with out here is most cameras nowadays record the event and you end up watching it after it happened. This is a little bit more proactive. And so if you can see here, the moment someone comes around the house, big ass light is going to hit them. That light will follow every step they take. If they stay there too long
Oh
before you
wow.
come on, it's going to let them know lights go freaking crazy. How powerful is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that before, but we're not really interested at this time though.
Hey, totally hear you, man. So the reason why we're coming out here is most people already want to get a system like this. Things are getting worse; they're not getting better. I'm sure you'd agree. And so with our program right now, as long as you qualify and put our orange sign on the front yard, we'll cover all the upfront costs, the activation, the hardware, so it's $0 out of pocket. All we ask is that you take care of the connection for the monitoring, which everyone around here pays about the same. We just know that if we can make you really happy with our service, you're most likely going to tell your friends and family about it, and that's how we generate a ton of business through word of mouth. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that does. I would have to talk to my wife though.
Totally hear you, man. Happy wife, happy life. At the end of the day, I'm pretty busy and I have another appointment I gotta get to. I'm not the guy to get you to do it. I'm just gonna show you how it works, leave you with some info, and then I have to get out of your hair because I have another appointment I gotta get to. Mind if I step in? And then I would
Sure,
just
come in.
yeah, that's it. And
That was
that was
good actually.
it was that was a fairly easy one, but
Yeah,
sometimes you'll deal.
I kept it easy.
But I try to remember, like, back in the day, one thing that Joel Arcus and them really like put into my head is you just have to follow a skeleton, like break preoccupation, why you're there, what's in it for them, what's in it for us, qualify or pull back, and then you transition. And if
Hmm.
you can say whatever you want, as long as you're following that skeleton, it'll make sense, and you could usually progress the sale forward. Does that make sense?
And be ready for any objections. And clearly you were just dropped like one or two, and you didn't flinch 1 second, and that's very crucial to be prepared.
Totally, totally. It's just being witty, being on top of it, and like what I do to like practice the objections, because there's usually like five main objections that you're gonna get on the door. It's I don't have time, or I'm busy. Do you have a card? I have a dog, or I have a gun, or I'm just not interested. And so those five ones will come up often. But what I've subconsciously convinced myself in my head is if they don't know why I'm here, what I'm doing, and what the offer is, anything they tell me is completely useless. It's just I'm just gonna bulldoze it, like completely
Exactly.
bulldoze it.
Smoke screen.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And so that would be like a fresh approach. A takeover is a little bit more simple because everybody nowadays in America is gonna have some sort of system already
Yeah.
in place.
Hmm.
And so that
We can do one if you want really quick. I won't make it difficult, but just so we have it on the recording, we can always use that recording, with other guys as well, moving forward. Hey, what's up?
I'm good, man. You must be the king of the castle.
No, my wife is.
Your wife is, I hear you, man. So you don't wear the pants in the relationship here, do you?
When she's not here,
When she's not
yeah.
here. I'll keep it short and sweet. My name is Baz. I'm actually out here with Vivint. Reason I came by is your ADT sign at the front. Are you responsible for that, or is it the wife normally?
Yeah, we got that a couple of years ago, yeah.
Years ago. Okay, I'm sure you love it, man. I'm sure you love it, and I doubt you were thinking about making any changes. But to be very honest with you, I am your number one competitor, and I'm here to steal your business. Okay, this is how I've been doing it. It's a three-part proposal. Number one, you're under contract right now. I will help you take care of it. Number two, I don't need to change your entire setup because, as the old saying goes, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Okay, all I do, man, I update your panel. It'll look like this. This will fix some issues you didn't even know you had. And the third part, and this, my friend, is the biggest reason why people have been hopping on board. I'm going to bribe you with anything you see on this list right now that's not in the home currently. You see anything on here that isn't in the home right now?
Yeah, what is that thermostat
Probably
thing?
Probably the doorbell camera that's catching your eye. It's what everybody out here has been wanting. Unfortunately, my friend, not every system is compatible with what I do. Okay, so that's all I'm here to do, man. Just see if your system works with us. And if it does, I'll make you an offer. But your panel on the wall is how I can tell normally. Do you have the Honeywell or the Simon XT?
I'm not sure actually.
Mind if I take a look and then you just transition
Well,
right there?
hold on one second. So how much more will I have to pay?
How much more you have to pay? It's kind of like Subway, man. You get to pick and choose exactly what you want. My job, though, is just to see if your system works with us first. And if it does, I'll make you an offer, leave you with the info. Now, you mentioned your panel. You didn't know what it was. Let me just take a look at it. It's usually by the wall, and I'll transition in.
Perfect. Love it. That's great. Um, okay, yeah, I like that I actually have never heard that pitch before for a takeover where you're like straight to the point. I'm here to earn your business, motherfucker.
Very, very find that people like when I'm this direct and honest, like they always say, the truth shall set you free. When I'm this direct and honest, and I tell them like, hey man, like I'm here to earn your business. It's the three-part proposal. Everybody's been doing it. They're like, okay, like let me hear this guy out. What's the three-part that he's about to tell me right now? And then if they let me go through my three parts, it's done deal. As long as I know I could buy out their contract, it's a done deal.
Love it, love it. That's awesome. Um, okay, yeah, no, that's great. So there is really no big change. That actually comforts me that there is no big change compared to the good old days.
It's the same thing, bro. Same thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you use sometime the actually, yeah, that's kind of what you said, like it's basically a way of advertising, you know, we're gonna pay. Do you actually say we're gonna pay for all the equipment, you just have to take care of the monitoring? Because I know that Vivint have been trying to be more, you know, a lot more like ethical and strict on the ethics. And it's not, you know, it's not exactly true that they pay for the equipment. So how do you go around that?
So I don't say that I pay for the equipment. The way that I word it is, if you qualify today, we'll take care of all the upfront costs. That
Oh
means
yeah,
all the
that's
hard
right.
the installation. So I'm not telling them we're gonna pay for the equipment. I'm just telling them
Okay, good.
I'm taking care of the upfront costs.
Good. Love it. Okay, so moving on from the door approach, and then we can do some role play off record. Just while it's recording, I'd love to know then what's your process usually inside the house. The skeleton, obviously, it really
Sure. So
differ.
first thing that I do is if I'm at a fresh door, once I transition in the home, I'll take 2 to 3 minutes to build rapport with the customer, right? Like how's the house? What do you do for work? Try to gather a little bit of information, get them to like you.
BRT.
Exactly. Spend 2 to 3 minutes on that, not too much. And then what I will do is right away, I will start by building up Vivint as a brand, because a lot of times people won't make a deal with you because either they don't trust you or they don't trust the company or don't know enough about the company. So I'll tell them very straightforward, like, hey man, do you know anything about Vivint? Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I've seen the sign, this and that. Well, I just want to tell you that we're not a small mom and pop shop. We've been around since 1999. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you're a basketball fan, but the Utah Jazz, they actually play at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. And we sell all of our products from Best Buy to Sam's Club. So we're a very reputable company. Okay. So I just thought I would mention that so you kind of know who we are. And then I would talk into like, let's talk about the panel now. So this right here is the brains of the operation. I'll talk about the panel. I'll give them 2 features and 2 benefits that would relate to their situation. Once I'm done talking about the panel, I then hop into talking about, now I'm qualifying to seeing what they're gonna care about the most. So there's 3 qualifying questions that I like to use. And so the first one will be, okay, my man, not that you're concerned, okay? Obviously, you're not losing sleep over this, but if you had to think about it, would you be more concerned about a break-in into the home, video surveillance, or car theft? They would answer, I would say, okay, why? They would answer, perfect. Would you be more concerned about the home when you're at home or when you're away from home? They would answer, perfect. Why? They'll tell me the answer. And then lastly, which area of the home would you say is your biggest concern? They would answer, why? They would answer again, perfect. Now, based on what they told me, this is when I'm going to become a Picasso. I'm going to paint a story that entails everything they told me. So, for example, let's role play that part just so you can kind of get an idea. So, Karim,
Sure.
uh, not that you're concerned, my man. Obviously, you're a big macho guy and you can handle business, so you're not losing sleep over this, my man, my man. But if you had to think about it, would you be more concerned about a breaking into the home, of car theft, or video surveillance?
I would say my truck in yeah, my truck outside. I do worry about it.
Totally. And why do you say that?
Well, there have been stuff happening, in the neighborhood, and you see, online on TV, there is more and more people getting into your vehicle. So that's something I was, considering. Um,
Totally. Totally. It's crazy that you say that. All of the families I've been dealing with in the area have told me the same thing, just more and more stuff happening with the vehicles, especially at nighttime. And so for you, would you say you're more concerned with the home when you're at home or when you're away from home primarily?
when I'm away, and at night as well.
When you're away and you're at nighttime, okay? And why do you say that?
Because when I'm away, my wife is home alone, so obviously, you got to think about that. And at night, but that's usually when there is the most, things happening.
Totally, totally. And then last but not least, not to again, not that you're concerned about this, but where would you say in the house would be your biggest concern? Like if you had to put your burglar hat on and you tried to break into your own home, how would you do it?
Probably the back door, back entrance through the backyard. Yeah.
Why do you
Because we don't go there often, and it's not, there is no neighbor to keep an eye, and yeah, it would be quite easy. I'm kind of giving you the keys to breaking into my home right
you are
now.
first of all tonight? No, I'm just joking, man. But so just to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, so number one thing you're mainly concerned about is your truck, right? So obviously you want to make sure your truck is taken care of, and you're more concerned when you're away from home, especially at nighttime if you're not there because your wife is there. Which leads me to ask, are you working night shifts then usually when you're away from home? Because you mentioned your wife's at night, or are you traveling quite a bit?
No, I'm when I'm at work, when I'm at the office, my wife is here alone. And no, at night we're sleeping. We go to bed quite early, so yeah,
Okay.
we're deep sleepers.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, then what I would do, man, is first step of security, we're gonna blanket your home with sensors. Okay, so all of your entry points, that means your front door, your back door, your side door, and we're also gonna have a glass break sensor that's gonna cover all those windows for you. And so the way it'll work is, God forbid, some crackhead tried to come and play with your car. Right away, what's gonna happen is it's gonna light them up with that camera that's gonna be over the driveway. That
Mm.
light actually going to follow every step that they take. If he continues to be a crackhead and continues near your car, the light is going to start going crazy. At that point, most people jet because they feel like someone's watching them. But if he's on some sort of drugs and he's not aware of the lights and still comes into the house, By this time, your wife is going to have a notification on her phone that there's been a guest that's been detected either in the driveway or in the back of the house. Okay. If he continues, obviously your wife is smart. She already got the gun, the 40 caliber that you bought for her for Christmas. Okay. So she's already ready. But if he comes any closer to the house and busts through the window from the back, it's going to go off an alarm. The cameras have an 80 decibel alarm. Do you know how loud that is?
Like a gunshot?
No, it's a little bit even louder. So they're going to be
Wow.
hearing 30-mile radius around the house. So a lot of the neighbors will be able to hear it. Police is going to be dispatched right away. And so if we have to take this guy out in a body bag, Vivint's got your back all the way. How crazy is that? Could you see that would give you a little bit more peace of mind, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that would be dope. But that sounds quite expensive, all of that.
You're right, and it is expensive, man. This stuff is not cheap. A full system will cost anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000. Okay, but because I came to you today, you didn't come to me. If you work with our program, like I said, we're gonna take care of all the upfront costs. Okay, so we'll handle that in just a minute. And so, boom. Now that I'm done just building that scenario, what I will do after is I will show them the video. Now, Karim, I just want you to watch this video real quick. You just tell me what stands out to you and we'll kind of go from there. So I'll go on the video, I'll click play. Your house. He'll watch the video, and then he'll tell, okay, perfect. What stood out to you? And then he'll be like, oh, I like the idea of the smart lock. Why did you like the idea of the smart lock? He'll tell me. And then I'll just kind of go from there. And what else stood out to you? What do you think your wife would like from that video? What would the kids like from that video? And now I'm pulling in, trying to get more value. And then based on what he'll tell me, I'll tell him exactly how it works and how it would relate to his situation. I like to ask 3 questions. Why did this stand out to you? How do you currently manage that situation? Just so that I know like what's going on with that situation. And in a perfect world, what would you like this product to be able to do for you? And so once I ask those 3 things with every product, he's giving me all the ammo that I need. I tie him into it. And then once I'm done with
Wait,
that,
question. Quick
yeah,
pause, sorry. Why do you, because now I actually remember, I actually used to use the video right off the bat. When we sit at the table, hey, I'm going to show you this, and then everything else. So I'm sure there is a reason why you first ask the question, paint the picture, then you show the video. I feel like it's almost like redundant. You're doing the same process twice, but there is probably a reason for that.
the reason why I do it is because I feel like it allows me to build even more value. So if I could do that step twice, where first we're just talking about it, then I could actually give him a visual and he tells me what stands out to him, I'm able to build more value in his head. And that's why I like to do it twice. And again, everybody's different and everybody has their own system. Whatever works best for you, fly with it. But for me specifically, the more that I can build more value, the better that likelihood that I'm able to close that deal.
Cool. Love it.
Sense?
And you can potentially add also some equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once I'm done, I like to keep it short and sweet. And the first with my 3 questions, because boom, cameras, I can explain it all that. Now I'm able to show him a visual, and like you said, I'm able to add some extra add-ons at the very end to see if he likes anything on top of it.
Yeah. No. Perfect. Love it.
Once I'm done with the video, he tells me kind of what he likes. Now I'm in the part where I'm like, okay, now we're gonna do a quick recap of everything you've got. Please let me know if I forgot anything. I'll recap everything he's mentioned. Sometimes if I feel like the person isn't engaged, I'll forget something just to see if he corrects me, to see if like, hey man, we said we'd have a camera in the back. Then I know he's engaged. If he doesn't correct me, I know that he's not on the hook as much as I thought he would be. Makes sense?
Sweet.
So I'll recap everything. Perfect, Karim. So we said we had the panel, we have the 3 sensors, front door, back door, side door. We have the glass break for the windows. We have the doorbell camera for the front, outdoor camera for the driveway, and then we have another one for the back. For everything we see here, normally it is pretty expensive, like I said. And so, Karim, you're like me. You obviously want to save some money, right? Okay. What people will normally do, and this is what I've done in the past, first I will just go to Best Buy, buy myself a ring, and I'll show them slides while I'm doing this. Okay, so I go to Best Buy. Best Buy, a ring will cost me $200. Perfect. If I want some cameras around my house and get some Arlos, you can see that's about $600. If I want to monitor them as well and get me another smart lock, that's another $250. Pretty quick, you can see that a full setup will cost you close to $2,000 to $3,000. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
Yeah.
$1,000 to spend today, my friend?
Not on that, no.
Probably not, right? So I'll make it easy for you. We're actually going to cover your upfront cost. It's actually $0, and I'm writing it on paper. So $2,300, $0. Activation is normally $199. Very easy with our program today. Again, as long as you qualify, $0. And then last but not least, installation $199. Our technicians got to eat as well. But I'll be very, very frank with you. If you can help me out with a referral, I can make it so that I can cover it. And the installation, I'll try to trade it for like a referral, or I'll try to trade it to see if he can be flexible with my technician time, stuff like that. I'll trade it for something, a small agreement.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You can do half, right, on the installation.
Yeah, $299,
Yeah.
$199, charge $399, $499. They're crazy now. You can fucking
Really?
yeah.
No way. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Yeah, because you can basically, instead of trading it, you can actually just lower it. If there is some friction regarding the installation, same day, you can lower from $299 to $199, and then for each referral, you can drop by 50 or 100.
Exactly. So it really depends how you play your cards and where you're at with the situation. Once I tell them, okay, perfect installation, boom. And so, Karim, the way that we compare this is a smart home system. Okay. It's kind of like your smartphone. Okay. So for your smartphone, for example, how much does that run you a month, my friend?
Right now I'm at around $100 actually.
About $100, right? That's what people will normally pay for their phones. My cell phone right now is about 120. Seems like you got a better deal, so you got to hook me up with your guy. Okay, so if you're paying $100 just for a smartphone, okay, for a smart home, that's a lot bigger, and we're looking at about 12 to 15 devices here. Guess how much all of that would run you a month if you had to guess?
Quick pause on this, sorry, but what I would advise if you don't do this is to add also the wife and the kids. So yeah, it's like you, it's $100. How about your wife? Also $100. And how about your teenage kid? Oh, it's $50, right? So right now you guys pay $250 a month for just just to be able to call people. How much do you think it would be for the whole house with the camera, with the and you rebuild the value, once again? Just a little tip, because that just came back to my mind, and that's something I used to do.
Back, I'll definitely add that. Sometimes I just use the little shortcut because so many people are paying like ridiculous amounts for the phones. Anytime they
Really?
tell me, yeah, bro, anytime it's like over $100 or over 120, I'm like, that's enough for me to like close the deal. But adding on top of that, that would be a sick approach as well.
Yeah. Anyways, so for the whole smart home, I don't know, probably like in the 250, 300.
You're right, man. Usually it is pretty expensive. And so normally what it would cost you is around $200 a month. But because, like I said, I came to you, you didn't come to me. Everything I just showed you here is literally $95.17. That's it. How crazy is that? And
Wow.
the best is we're actually going to guarantee that this will never go up on you for 60 months. Guaranteed, we price lock it in there. At the end of that, that's actually gonna go down to $24.99. How crazy is that?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah. I mean,
And
I'm genuinely like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
so, but I like to, and this is something, and you already know this, where we're price anchoring, right? We anchored the price so high that when we actually drop the price, there's much value. And as soon as I drop the price, I like now to go back into the company and build more credibility again into the
Yeah.
company.
You
I don't want
sweeten the deal. You
exactly.
don't
I don't
want them
want
to end.
mine is the price. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
so
you can also mention something you could mention at that point. Not only it dropped to 24, but also also the fact that on top of that you actually own all the equipment. They are not rented. So whether in 2 years you decide to move somewhere else, they actually come with you. We're going to reinstall them in your new home. And on top of that, if anything is broken, there is a lifetime warranty on all the equipment. Do we still have that?
Yeah, no, we got something even better than that. So I like to touch that at the very end here. So what
Okay.
so once I price drop, I'll go into like my tabs that I already have open on my thing. So just a few things. I want to make sure you guys make an educated decision. So this right here is consumer affairs. They have us ranked at a 4.7 stars out of 5. Okay. Obviously, you know Forbes as well, and I'll pull up Forbes. They also have us ranked at a 4.8 stars out of 5. The reason why all of these famous articles are ranking us very high is for two things. Number one, if you move, we'll move anywhere with you in North America at no cost to you. Number two, when was the last? So the reason why a lot of these companies have ranked us so high is for two reasons. If you move anywhere in North America, we'll come with you. Number two, when was the last time you broke something?
Uh, not long ago.
Well,
A pot that we dropped and it has a whatever.
it was a little pot that you broke, and that happened. Okay, so when was the last time you broke something expensive?
Well, I mean, I'm not a good example because I don't really break stuff. I
Um,
take good care of my things, but my wife does though.
Perfect. And so the reason why I say that is, imagine you have an iPhone, and
Oh,
anytime you break
her
it, you get a
AirPods.
exactly. Anytime you break it, you'll get a brand new one. The cost of us rolling it out, delivering it to you, and giving it to you is a total of $0. How powerful is that?
Wow, that is dope. You should
It's
ask
pretty.
Apple to do the same.
Yeah. Hey, I wish, man. I have an iPhone, but exactly. So anytime you break anything, we'll come back, we'll replace it. But you're not the type of guy that's gonna go and hit it with a broom just to get a free one, are you?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. And so sometimes when I ask that question, they'll like be like, no, no, like I wouldn't do that. Like, give me the deal, bro. Like, yeah, I'm a good customer. I'll take care of you guys.
Yeah.
And so after I've explained that, then I just kind of go to my close. I'm like, perfect, man. So really, it's super simple. If we can do all of this for you, we can do it for this much. We can cover all of this. Would there be any other reason why this wouldn't be a home run deal for you? And that's like essentially my closing question. And they would just be like,
How
no.
about I still have to talk to my wife though.
Totally understand, man. Totally understand. At the end of the day, it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. And the cool thing about this is you're actually going to get a couple days to play with this thing. That way she can actually see it. And if she's not absolutely satisfied, we'll come back and get it out of here. You have nothing to lose. Who do you want to use for your first emergency contact?
I love it. The Kenny close. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the I'll have to crush the numbers and see if $95 a month. We have to see if we can wing it. Can you leave everything here and I give you a call tomorrow?
I hear you, man. I hear you. I'll be frank with you, man. I personally, I'm so busy. I don't like to come back. If you call me, I can definitely help you out, but I won't be able to personally come back. What I will say, usually, so just to understand you correctly, it all makes sense. It just comes down to the cost, the money itself, right?
Yeah. The cost and talking to my wife.
Talking to your wife. Okay, so if we're able to get the cost to make sense and have your wife approve it, would there be any other reason why this wouldn't make sense?
There you go. That's what I was fishing for. No,
Yeah. Pretty much so, and it's the same thing, right? I'm just trying to isolate the objection, and then I'm
exactly.
trying to attack it and keep moving forward.
Exactly. Yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta isolate objection, overcome it, and transition right away. Yeah. No,
exactly,
that's right.
exactly. Because that's
Cool.
when you'll like the objections come up, but like it's super simple, and you already know this. Isolate it, overcome it,
Yeah.
redirect, and just and keep moving forward.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, really cool. Honestly, it really hasn't changed much. I did pick up a few things that I used to not do and that I'm probably gonna do. And now that was super beneficial. Also, that reminded me a lot of good memories in people's homes and so on. So that's awesome. I do have a question though.
Yeah,
I heard that now in the US, we or some of the guys tend to do the credit check way sooner. Some do it even at the door when you're in the hood. Do
yeah.
you tend to take them all the way before qualifying, or does that happen for you to do it much sooner?
Great question. For me, it's very case by case. It depends on where I'm knocking, what neighborhood I'm knocking, what type of cars I'm seeing in the driveway, who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to an African American family in the hood, I'm credit checking like on the door, man. Hey man, let's just see if you qualify. I don't want to waste your time. First name, last four, like right away. Because there'll be days where I'm running like 15, 20 credits because people like fail like crazy.
And so in this case, and that's exactly my point. To this point, if they qualify, how do you then transition? Because that's the thing, at the door, it's like, if you qualify, we mention often, if you qualify, we dangle it in front of them. How do you then transition when you see that they qualify, how you transition to the rest?
Perfect. So if I see that they qualify, I'm not gonna get too happy to tell them like they qualified. I'll just be like, it seems like this home really qualifies, but I won't make it a big deal. So really just comes down to talking about the numbers and seeing if it fits within your budget. I'll write it out on a piece of paper and then I'll get out of your hair. Mind if I step in? And then when I'm inside, and then I ask them, okay, now, and then at the end, if they already qualified, but they qualified at the door, when I'm at the end, I'll tell them, okay, so qualifying is really simple. Number one, would you be okay with putting my orange sign at the front? They'll be like, yes. Number two, are you the type of person where if you're really happy with the product or service, do you tell your friends and family about it? They'll tell me another yes. And lastly, if someone asks you, why did you decide to go for a Vivint system? Would you tell them, was it more for the security side of it, the technology, or kind of both? What would you say? And I'm letting them sell themselves. And again, it has nothing to do with the qualification, but they don't know that. But I'm getting them to sell themselves on the idea.
Love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to add while on the record before we do maybe some role play? Anything?
No, I think that's pretty straightforward, man. I think that as long as you have a clear process of where you're going in your head, everything else just kind of takes care of itself. And you're witty and you're good with people, like you already know how it goes. Everything else just kind of takes care of itself.
That's awesome. Thank you, Baz. Love it.